Hello guys, good afternoon and welcome once again to Opinions and Reactions with Maggie. Okay, I know a lot has been going on, especially in Nigeria at this time, and of course it is me who brings you the details, the when, where, how, who said what, and why is this happening at this time. Especially talking about insecurity, like we have gone from 0 to 100 in no time. And if I remember correctly, this was one of the primary things that this administration promised to fix. But it's like, who are we kidding? Well, welcome once again to Opinions and Reactions with Maggie. I will be right back. Like I said, a lot has been going on, and just a few days ago in Iwariam, Anambra State, Nigeria, there was a clash between suspected Fulani headsmen and the indigents. Now, what started this clash is something that we cannot say for sure, although investigations are ongoing and we're still to find out where this is coming from and where it is going. But bodies of beheaded people, which are yet to be identified if they are Fulani headsmen or indigents, have been found in different places in Iwariam. And so far, the government have not brought out any statements concerning this, what is going on, not the state government, not the federal government. Now, speaking of insecurity, like I said, the Federal House of Representatives are currently working on a bill to ensure that military organizations institute a law that enables the female officers to wear hijab. In case you don't know what hijab is, it's an Islamic covering, you know, that veil, the cover, and you can only see their eye. And now it begs the question of what is the priority? Where are their minds? Are these people actually in this same Nigeria that we are? You know, this morning there was news that Boko Haram were planting flags in Niger State, and the House of Assembly is instituting a bill to say hijab is their problem. Well, I'm not going to be giving you this gist all by myself. I have with me on set today a senior legal practitioner, managing partner at Azih and Azih, and with me here is Barrister Nonso Azih. Hello, Barrister. Yeah. Sorry, I had to bring you into Nigerian issues, but of course, who better to tell me the what, where, how, and, you know, and the legal perspective to these issues than a learned fellow like you. Yeah. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Maggie.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to be here. And the Nigerian question is it's a very tough one that at times when you look deeply, you don't even know where to start. But what is happening now has a lot of societal implication. You know, let's not even talk about the legal implication, because the laws are there. The laws are there, but the problem is implementation. You know, in your introductory speech, you said that the administration, you know, that one of the issues or one of the things they said they were going to do was to ensure that, you know, that we live in a secured society. And without mincing word, it is very clear to say that the government has failed abysmally in securing lives and property. You know, virtually any day will pass on without you seeing reports on people who have been brutally murdered, beheaded.
Exactly, not a single day.
Bizarre way. So essentially, you find out that the Constitution of Nigeria, you know, the president, the executive arm of Nigeria, part of their job is to secure lives and property. So it's an essential constitutional role of every government. Does it mean that government can guarantee 100% safety of lives and property? No. But a reasonable government, you know, ought to be seen, you know, not just to, you know, play with the words, but to actually take steps in the protection of lives and property. So I agree with you. I mean, it was a campaign promise, but beyond campaign promise, there is a natural constitutional duty that the federal government owes to its citizenry to protect lives and property. And I think, in my own estimation, they have failed in that.
Just like, of course, we just had a question now. Someone is asking, why are we here? What is the way forward? What's causing all this?
It's $1 million question, and I think there may be no right or wrong answer, but I think it's an accumulation. You know, they say little drops of water
makes an ocean.
So it's a reflection of of years of neglect, there are some fundamental issues that the federal government should have looked into. You know, you have seen the several national conferences we've had.
Yes.
You know, there's been this agitation for, can we come together and look at our ground norm, which is the Constitution? Can we come together and look at whether it's an appropriate documentation that should guide the relationship between the different tribes in Nigeria? And remember that historically, Nigeria coming together as an entity had a sort of a bizarre history. You know, not because it is anything out of place. You know, there is strength in diversity, as they typically say. But the bottom line is that it is always good that when you bring different tribes, Nigeria is made up of over 250 ethnic nationalities. When you bring them together to stay under one legal entity called Nigeria, as time evolves, it's always good for you to review the terms of staying together. So the agitation for a sovereign national conference, the agitation for resource control, we all know that some of the issues that ought to have been addressed have not been addressed. So to answer why we are here is as a result of lip service on the part of government. Government has not been bold enough. Government appears not to have been courageous enough to address the fundamental issue. There is something we say, you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. So those who believe, you know, those who are Christians will understand that. They say, if the foundation is not strong, what can the righteous do? Or something like that, you know. It is a foundational issue. It's a foundational issue. It is not because the different ethnic nationality cannot coexist. We can. We were coexisting before 1966. But the point is that when you look at history, you find out that our leaders, our foremost leaders, developed the country, the nation, on ethnic line. It is an issue of, a cultural orientation, because there are countries that have diverse people. A country like America is made up of different, different forms of people. So the problem is not really whether Igbos will succeed, if we should split Nigeria into small, tiny bits. The problem is, have we negotiated the terms of staying as one? Are there people who are marginalized in real terms, not imaginary? Are there people who are not getting what they should get? Yes, politics is about who gets what. But when it is skewed to favor a particular class of people, a particular group of people or nationality, you begin to question, should we really stay as one? Or should we go back to regional government where the different regions were allowed to develop in their own capacity? So these are the nuances and the challenges that we have in Nigeria.
I actually have a story here of a pastor, a 50-year-old pastor, who raped a 70-year-old girl who came to his church for prayers. And this girl's parents knows the pastor. She had actually come home to report that whenever I go for prayers, this man abuses me. And they tell her, he cannot. That is the anointed. He brings anointing oil. Like, what is going on? Because it tells her that there is no place of safety. The church are telling us to go and pray. The female is an endangered species there. Be it your wife, be it your daughter. And I say this with all seriousness. I know how many women are being... And sure, let me not go further. Like, what do you think of this situation right now?
The truth of the matter is that we have a society that is religious.
Too religious, if you ask me.
But not godly. If your religion does not make you to become disciplined,
a better person,
a person who can sacrifice his, that can inconvenience himself for his neighbor. Because these are the basic principles of religion. Going to church should actually impact your spiritual being. So be in alignment with the God you believe in. So it's also a consequence of unemployment, because some young men, when they see that they don't have work and they look at themselves, they think they look fine, they have some good suits.
They can speak
they can speak well, so they become pastors and with no depth And such guys are open to being used. I mean, some guys can use them to launder money, and the money will look as if it's a donation to church and all that. So they allow themselves to be used for all manner of rubbish. These are the kind of people that will abuse people who come to their church, because that spiritual depth is not there. You do not become a pastor or a priest just because you have a fine face or you can talk before the public. You become a pastor or a priest because you have been called to serve. It's a call to service. It's a call to service, to give up the self. Growing up, I see pastors and priests who sacrifice their cars, their resources for the betterment of the church member. But now, you see a young man who is a pastor, and the next thing is asking you is for the church to buy the best car for him. We have to go back to drawing board and begin to correct this from the kindergarten stage.
Speaking of adults being part of the problem, now this next story, let me read it out, yeah? A 49-year-old man, Ubong Akpan, has been arrested for defiling his 12-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Hold on. For 5 years. And now it was actually the daughter who had to go to the police station to report, like, I am 12 years. And my father has been sleeping with me since I was 7.
Yes.
And now when the police went to the house, to arrest the man, and they asked the wife, why have you been silent? She said because she doesn't want to carry their problem out. She doesn't want to wash their dirty linens out. First of all, I do not know where they got that saying from to begin with.
Why are you surprised?
Now, they are damaging a child because they do not want to wash their dirty linens outside. Now, the fantastic part, the man's excuse was that, why are you sleeping with your own daughter? It's not so, if it's somebody's daughter, it's also wrong, but it's somebody's daughter, it is your own daughter. And his excuse was that his wife is no longer attractive. People of the Lord, his own wife was no longer attractive to him. Now, his daughter became attractive to him from 7 years old. Please help me make sense of this.
It doesn't make any sense under any imaginable circumstance or situation, because first of all, the man, we have to approach it from the legal and psychological aspects.
Yes, please.
Then you see that in a society that works, the man the first port of call should be to do a psychiatric evaluation, a psychiatric evaluation of the man to ascertain his level of sanity. Then, from a legal point of view, he's an adult, and adults should actually face the consequences of their crime. I mean, incest is outlawed in Nigeria. Rape attracts heavy punishment. So the bottom line is that sometimes, as a lawyer, I've seen cases that are put under the carpet. You report to the police.
That is my
the
major
police
concern.
will tell you that, I've seen a case where the police were like, we see this case every day. Somebody was freaking out, and they said, no, why are you freaking out? That you see an abnormality every day does not make it normal.
That's another problem.
This child has been somehow ruined for life, psychologically.
Yeah, actually.
So it will take a lot of counseling is the right word, rehabilitation, mental rehabilitation, to make her begin to come back to, regain her confidence and to begin to try to forget about what happened, to live a normal life. These are the issues that we need to, they are interlinked. Poverty breeds crime. And when a poor man's daughter has been raped, he doesn't have the wherewithal in himself to pursue it. Then it also links to the inefficiency of the state actors, because as a man whose daughter has been raped, you need not spend 1 naira to prosecute the case. Once your duty is to report the crime, once you report the crime, police takes it up. The policeman is a victim. A young girl or a young boy who has been abused is a victim. The poor family, they are victim,
and potential
and everybody
who victims.
It's a holistic issue that we have to look into.
If we continue talking about the cases in Nigeria, in short, the issues that are eating up Nigeria right now, we are not going to live here. But for today, we are going to have to call it a day. Thank you so much for joining us on set today.
It's a pleasure.
On set today. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. You guys are doing a great job.
I learned so much. Yeah. I am sure that my audience learned a lot too. And you watching at home, I'm sure you learned something. Also, tell us what you think. Don't forget to drop your contributions and your comments on the comment section or on our website. Make sure to follow us on social media, Instagram at AETV Live, Facebook at AETV, Twitter at AETV. Do not forget, remember, it is your opinion that matters. All these things that he's talking, we will talk and talk until at the end of the day, it's talk that we have. So your opinion means so much to me. I believe that in talking one day we'll find a headway. And it is me again, Magdalene Tuku, coming to you live from AETV, Lagos, Nigeria. See you next time. Thank you for watching.